much as we've talked about breast milk and formula and all the wonderful things it does, we also need to take into consideration that some children may be allergic. Now, some children may be allergic to cow's milk, which is usually the foundation for formula. And some children may be allergic to maybe even possibly casein or lactose coming out of your breast milk. Now, does that mean that the child will not eat? No, it doesn't. What it means is that you now need to think about other kinds of formulas, things like partially hydrolyzed formulas or things like completely hydrolyzed formulas. Now, this is where you get the help of a nutritionist on your team. Have a conversation with them, let them guide you on which ones are best, right? So that you can make the right choice and get your child off whatever is making them have horrible reactions, because these reactions include skin reactions, it can include issues with breathing, it can even include bowel issues, right? Lots of discomfort. And we all know that when children are uncomfortable, they will cry. And it's not because they are hungry, it could be so many other reasons, right? So you want to make sure that if you do realize that this could be a possible allergic reaction, even reflux, something as simple as reflux. You feed a child right now and they bring back everything up, constantly throwing up, and you don't really know what could be the cause. It could be that there may be an allergic reaction. So you definitely want to speak with a nutritionist or a dietitian and get help in that regard, okay? So I think we've covered everything that has to do with the first 6 months. Remember, a fed baby is the best baby. Make sure your support team is supporting you and not making it difficult for you. And if you find that you're struggling with some issues, speak with a lactation specialist, speak with your nutritionist, speak with anyone who is a professional, not somebody who just wants to sell you a product because they think they believe it works. Speak with someone who will explain to you what's happening, why it is happening, the best way to get the solution for your problem, and will continue to give you support on the journey while you make those changes.
Some moments are just too beautiful. More beautiful when you have your family and friends. Some even go the extra mile as you await your bundle of joy. The Mobaby Care gift set is the ultimate collection of baby skincare products to care for your little one's skin. Specially formulated with the best ingredients nature has to offer: shea butter, natural oils, and aloe vera, to give your baby that unique, mild, and soothing care. Mobaby Care. Absolute care and nurture.
So we have talked about before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and the first 6 months of life. Genge, now it's time to talk about the next part, which is the best part. We are now 6 months, yay! We've gotten past only breast milk and breastfeeding. Now let's talk about what we should be eating. The first thing I want you to do is put yourself and your child on a breastfeeding schedule. Yes, you are doing complementary feeding, so you are supporting breast milk by introducing semi-solids, right? But it's important to keep in mind that when you are introducing solids, your breast milk also has to coincide with it. What does that mean? You're not going to be breastfeeding on demand anymore. You're going to be supporting the process that you want to introduce. Because a lot of the times, one of the biggest mistakes we make is you think that just when the child turns 6 months, we just need to transition immediately. No, you need to put yourself on a schedule. You need to plan. You need to say to yourself, okay, this time and this time, I'm going to offer you this amount of food. It could be once a day, it could be twice a day. Follow the child's own pace. But your breast milk cannot be on demand as it used to be before. Why? Because it's no longer providing all the nutrients that your child needs. Remember, in nutrition, it's the foundation for life. Everything you eat has a role to play. So if you're not getting enough of something, it will be affecting something else. It could be affecting weight, it could be affecting brain development, it could be affecting motor skills, so moving, learning how to crawl, learning how to move. It could be affecting head coordination and all those things. So you want to really pay attention to how you transition. Now, I do not advocate for you to transition before 6 months, and I'll tell you why. The reason for that is because the digestive enzymes of most children are not prepared till about 6 months. WHO recommends that you start complementary feeding between the ages of 4 to 6 months. However, some children, in fact 80% of the children, are not even ready by 4 months. and you start to force the child to eat solids and they're not ready. What does readiness include? Readiness includes losing reflux, right? The ability where they bring back out their breast milk, maybe either from burping. They need to learn how to swallow, right? So readiness includes things like losing the thrust reflex, which is basically how they take in their breast milk or their formula. Now you want to ensure that the child is ready to be able to swallow solids. Another thing is keeping their head unsupported on their own. Not you holding it, not it leaning back, because this could cause choking and this could cause death, which you don't want. So you don't want the child's head leaning back because they can't carry their head. Sitting upright, unsupported for at least a minimum of 30 seconds to 1 minute. That's when you know that a child is ready. Moving their eyes whenever they see solid foods, and just making eye coordination and looking really eager about starting the process. Those are the key signs that you want to pay attention to when you want to start weaning. Now, of course, like I mentioned, doing the schedule, which is so important. Now, another thing I will say is when you are about to do this transition process, don't give yourself unnecessary trouble of going to go and buy all the cereals in the supermarket. Please don't do that. Instead, start with the basics that are in your home. Simple is key. Simple nutrition is key. What do you have? Do you have rice? Do you have plantain? Do you have sweet potatoes? Is it yam? Is it even swallow? Make sure you have the basics, and you can start with that. Cook them, no salt, no honey, because we don't want the child's kidneys or livers doing too much work. So no salt, no honey. Now just start with the basics. Sweet potatoes, rice, yam, oats, plantain. You can make porridges for your children. They need all the nutrients. They need the carbohydrate, they need the fats, they need the proteins, right? Now another thing to also consider is the texture. You also want to learn who your child is. The first 3 months, which is 6 to 9 months, is an explorative time. Go to town. The quantity does not matter. Their stomach is no bigger than a tiny egg. Even the biggest egg cannot contain all the things you have in your mind that you want your child to eat. Remember, it's not about how fast or how many bowls they're eating. It's about the quality of the food. If your food is rich in nutrients, rich in nutrient density, has enough of all the things I just mentioned, it will provide your child with everything they need. They don't need to be consuming large quantities of food at this time. It could be the reason why they're not sleeping at night. It could be the reason why they are constipated most of the time. It could also be the reason why the child is always cranky and always crying because they are too full and they don't know how else to get it out of their system. So this is me telling you, it's not about the number of bowls of food they should eat. It's about exploring the food options. Go to town with what you have at home. Just make sure you are preparing it safely with clean water. Your hands, you're making sure that your hands are clean. You have clean utensils for your children. And most importantly, you are watching how the food is prepared. Avoid things that will cause choking hazards, because some children who want to do baby-led weaning, which is basically feeding themselves as early as 6 months, you want to make sure you're supervising the child, you're steaming your vegetables, you're steaming your fruits, you're steaming your carbs. Just make sure you enjoy those first 3 months. Don't give yourself an unnecessary headache all about, okay, they're not eating this cereal, they didn't eat this one, they are struggling. Maybe your child wants to eat amala. Maybe they want to eat pounded yam. Hey, they may decide that, it's oat swallow that is hungering me. Do that. Don't put yourself under the undue pressure because you've bought all these cereals and your child doesn't want to eat it. Start with the basics that are in your home. It's the best way to introduce them eventually to when they move to family food. Now we've done the first 3 months. Let's move on to the next 3 months. Here you want to think about textures. Here you want to think about the quantity of the food that you're offering. And most importantly,
visit www.morebabycare.com. More Baby Care,